Welcome to the house. The one they talking about. Word of mouth. The Boxing Playhouse, without a doubt. All the latest and greatest boxing news, that's what it's all about.
What's up? This is Sakura A and Emelio Santana.
Yo, what's up?
And you know you're watching After Dark series. Now, tonight we do have a very special and amazing guest, an entrepreneur in his own right, and the son of a legend, one of the four kings. So we can't wait to bring him on for you. I mean, we're really only going to talk about one subject, and then, you know, we're going to move on and have Sugar come on here and let us know how he feels about some of these current boxing topics as well. So you ready?
Hey, I'm ready.
All right. Okay, so Klitschko believes that Bivol should not even be fighting right now, Canelo at all, because he is of Russian descent. And I want to know how you feel about that.
Ooh, man, that's you know, the Klitschko, Lomachenko, you know, a lot of those guys over there, you know, they're taking a stand right now, you know, what's happening over there in the Ukraine. So,
right.
You know, that's a touchy subject. That's new to me, actually, when you just told me that right there. That took me back right there. I didn't even know that one right there. So, man, it's you know, it's the biggest fight of his career, you know, fighting Canelo. If he don't fight Canelo, who knows? That fight might not never come around. You know, so that's a touchy subject right there.
It's sad. Tough. It's the timing.
Yeah.
You know, of all the timing when he finally gets this Canelo fight. And I have to be honest, as a boxing fan, I really didn't even realize that the man was Russian. I mean, they never marketed him as, you know, as a Russian or anything like that.
Right.
And the thing about Russia is, you know, because it's more like a dictatorship. I mean, the people don't really get to have their own opinions. You know, it's like our government when they do things that we don't really like, you know. I mean, I know they're our representatives, but people should know that we don't always agree. And I think it's the same thing with Russians. They don't probably agree with a lot of things that Putin does over there. So, you know, there's that punishment because you're Russian. I kind of don't like that because it's, you know, it's a situation where we're talking about, you know, kind of like discrimination or, you know, something like that.
Right.
Now, I know you do want to put the squeeze on Putin and make him feel uncomfortable. You know, that's the thing about protest and trying to make a stand, especially with these sanctions and stopping all these oligarchs from doing what they want to do. Klitschko may have a point to where it's like, well, I don't feel like the athletes should be fighting right now either. Let them also be another voice to put the squeeze on Putin and make him feel uncomfortable,
right.
You know, so that he's just getting all around uncomfortableness. Like, let me stop what I'm doing. So there are two sides to it. Let's go ahead and see what Sugar has to say about this subject. Because for me, I mean, we have to know how our boxing, you know, our boxing personalities and celebrities in the game feel about these, you know, very controversial issues, especially when I know most people do support Ukraine. Right. So are you ready for the entrepreneur, the son of a legend, a living legend? Ready? For Sugar Ray Leonard Jr., baby. All right, bring him on up here. What's up?
What's up, good people? How y'all doing?
Man, we chilling, Ray. What's going on, bro?
Man, I'm blessed and highly favored, like my grandfather used to tell me.
Yes.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I'm good. Glad to be on the show. Thank y'all for having me.
Absolutely. I like that highly favored part. You know, that is something that I always like to say as well. Being from North Carolina, that is something that my grandmother also said.
Well, you know, my father was born in Wilmington, North Carolina.
Oh, for real? No, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Him and Michael Jordan, the best to come out of there. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So,
that's crazy. I mean, that's literally like an hour from where I grew up at, you know, born and raised.
so you got a bunch of legends coming out of there, huh?
Yeah. And I'm from Kinston, so it's all about the basketball stars, you know. They got all the NBA players there.
And all this shit, I thought it was Palmer Park, Maryland, Ray.
That's where I was born and raised.
Oh, that's
Palmer
what you were
Park.
born.
Yeah. My father was born in the country down in North Carolina. I was born in the city hood. Palmer Park.
Okay.
Yeah, you got that right. We're from the country. You got it right.
Yeah. My family's from Mullins, South Carolina. My
South
grandmother
Carolina?
and everybody from Mullins, South Carolina, a little small town. But
Mullet.
then they moved to DC in Maryland, so that's where I was born.
That is so freaking weird because I promise you, someone earlier today I was having a conversation with said Mullen, but they were talking about Mullen, Georgia. I guess there's a Mullen, Georgia as well.
Mm.
But he was talking about how he was pulled over there. So, like, do you guys ever visit the South? And, how do you feel about current affairs right now?
Yeah, no. I mean, I was, my family, my mother's side of the family is from Washington, Georgia, down in Wilkes County.
Okay.
So from Georgia and South Carolina, we all Southern people that moved up north. My mother and father, they were 15 and 16 when I was born, so they moved when they was young, and I don't know nothing but the DMV space, but that's what we at.
Okay. Well, I mean,
What up, Sent? How you doing? Somebody she always said, "Hey Ray, how you doing?" I'm out here responding. My bad.
Thank you. Yes, that's what I was about to read. I was just about to say you got some people saying hello to you tonight. Let's see. We also wanted to talk about the subject matter of Ukraine, as you saw. You heard us with the Baval situation. How do you feel about boxers getting involved in, who should fight and who shouldn't based on their ethnicity?
So I'm from the old school, from the Muhammad Ali space. Like, you stand for something or you fall for anything. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of my thought process. And as boxers and as people that create the money in a space, the only thing that really hurts people sometimes is taking away their currency. So I understand what Klitschko's saying. I mean, Vitaly Klitschko is the mayor of Ukraine, not mayor of Kyiv. So
Right.
he has a thought process in his head, and if they willing to put down their gloves and take up arms and fight for their country, then I gotta support them. So it's a whole different thing when you're looking at the revenue for sport and opportunities besides your whole existence as a people. And no, I shout out to Vitaly for saying here, like, look, I think you should put the maximum pressure on these people, for that, because it's bigger than just the sport. I mean, so people are dying, people are losing their lives. He's fighting for their country. So I stand with Vitaly on this comment, but on the other end, I got to say that, I mean, like, opportunities don't come all the time, right? For the kid, it's a Russian kid. He like, man, I got to fight. This war is not his war. He's just trying to make himself the best fighter he can, get the best opportunity he can. So I feel on both sides. So I'm not going to judge anybody by the decisions, but I'm just saying I understand what they're doing and their thought processes.
Okay. I agree with you wholeheartedly on that. I mean, Tupac also had some, stand for something or die for nothing. So I firmly agree with your stance.
Yeah. I'm saying if somebody coming up towards my house with some nonsense, like, we gonna fight. It's gonna be a problem all the way through, right? So that is just my build. That's who I'm based upon. I'm gonna protect my family at all costs. So I understand it from both sides.
True, definitely. Now, in current news tonight, we just learned that there's possibly talks in the works for a Deontay Wilder versus AJ from the UK. This is a fight that, of course, we wanted to see pre-pandemic, and now they're back talking about this fight. I mean, will they be more negotiable this time? Like, will they be more open to negotiating? That's what I want to know, because I'm like, don't stir my emotions up and tell me you guys getting ready to fight, and then here go, all these contract negotiations breaking down. I mean, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm all for everybody talking about getting the bag to fight, but then I'm an old school cat. Like, here, like, fight, like, stop talking nonsense. If you want to make the fight, go fight. Prove that you're the best. Get as much money as you can, but go in there and fight. Like, stop talking all that nonsense. Go in there and fight. Alexandra, I appreciate you. Thank you. but
We forgot to tell you about our little crew, like that. We got some ladies that's always, like, a little, like, one just to know what's up.
all good. But yeah, I mean, but go in there and fight, man. Like, stop talking about it. Jamel Charlo was talking about Bud Crawford, about, like, here, go ahead and fight Errol Spence and stop talking nonsense. Oh, you can come fight me and get knocked out. I love that energy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't want this energy that everybody keep talking about who they gonna fight or what they gonna fight or waiting for them. I think AJ and Deontay Wilder, I think that would be a great fight. I think both of them have something to prove, because both of them have been lackluster in their big fights, and the only one that's talked about it, been about it, was Tyson Fury. So you guys go in there, get it on, and go beat the man. Like, stop all the nonsense. Go in there and fight. That's what it's about. All right. So I know Deontay ain't scared to smoke. I know AJ ain't scared to smoke. So let's just make it happen. I'd love to see it happen. I'd love to be ringside, front row, or even back row, and just watch it. I mean, I miss the fights where people just will fight each other.
I was just getting ready to say, Ray, I miss the days, and I got on my favorite. I can't even see, baby. I got on my favorite shirt right here, Ray. The Four Kings.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
The era when the guys, when they fought each other. Leonard,
Yes.
Hagler, and Duran. They need to get back to those days when the guys, instead of all the talking, man, they got in there and they fought.
Man, it was it didn't matter weight classes. They would travel through weight classes because they wanted to prove that they were the best. So I'm friends with all the kids. So Tommy Hearns Jr., Marvin Hagler Jr., Irishel Duran, Roberto Jr. Like, we all friends. We're trying to do some things to change the face of boxing. But it's funny to see, because I'm the oldest one of all of them. So I got to see it first and foremost. I was front facing. So it was just crazy to see that kind of competition, that they would fight for bragging rights. I mean, they would have met in the back of the alley and fought because, hey, I'm better than you. So hey, you get your bag. I love you get your bag, but man, I just miss the days of the competition of here. I'm gonna see who's the best, and I'm gonna prove you I'm better than you.
Right. Ray, I want to ask you, give me one great memory you have of Muhammad Ali. I know he was close with you and your dad.
Man, I have so many.
Really? Wow.
I was blessed as a young man that my father and Muhammad Ali had the same trainer, and they were so close. Muhammad Ali was a mentor to my father, to me. Our families are super close. We shared the same bodyguard, James Anderson, rest in peace, Jamal Anderson, who played for the Atlanta Falcons, running back. His dad. Like, so our family are super close. Layla and Hannah and I mean all of them. Like, it's amazing that I look back on it now, and I was like, how was a little kid from Palmer Park, Maryland, with two teenage parents have this experience? So it is insane to me to even think about it as I go back and I talk to my kids. They're like, no way, like, you don't even know him. You ain't never met him. Like, do you understand? Like, do you understand where your daddy came from and who he was involved with? So it was really amazing to me to see Ali and all the stuff that he accomplished, to be around him and to have time. So even in his later days, I'm sorry, I'm putting my charger into my computer. So but even in his later days, so this is how long I've known him, and he's been like a father figure to me. Was in his later days of Parkinson's, I saw him in the airport, and he came up to me and just gave me a big hug, and he's like, "Hey, little man, what you doing?" Right? I was like, damn, near 35 years old. But in his mind, he saw me as the same kid that was sitting on his lap and that ran around his training camp. So I mean, I've seen it from a whole different level, and I'm just so blessed to have had that opportunity to sit around so many boxers and so many great legends. It shaped me as a person, shaped my life and my thought processes on how you deal with people and how you function in the world. So, rest in peace, Muhammad Ali. I went to his funeral in Louisville, and it was a beautiful experience. To see his homegoing service, and to be back with the family and all the legends. I mean, he was a man in every sense of the word, and I aspire to be, what he is and what he was, and because he would not sacrifice his thought process and his beliefs for someone else's, and so he was such a strong person. So it made me really look at my life. My grandfather told me when I was younger, "No, you know better, do better," and that was just the biggest thing in my life to be around somebody that was so principled that he would give up his career, millions of dollars, to say, I stand for this.
Right.
So I apologize if I went too long on that, but he's close to my heart. Like that's
Yeah, we agree with you. I mean, it's like it's never going to be a champion like him ever again, and that's just facts. And he did, and the reason why is because he did have an impression on everyone that he met. He was able to change mindsets, and that's something that we're totally lacking in our society right now. Ain't nobody trying to.
Yeah. I mean, he spoke truth to power with it when you couldn't do it,
right?
but he was bold enough to say, "Look, I'm me. I'm gonna speak it. I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna do it, and then whatever punishment comes, that's what's gonna happen. But I accept it."
Right.
Ray, you cool with any of his kids, like Layla and some of the other kids?
Yeah. Those are the homies. That's family. So from the Foremans to the Alis, like this boxing space that we in is very small, especially from the elite level. And we all talk to each other. We all mentor each other, and yeah, I mean, we still close. We still close.
Well, speaking of someone else that you also are friends with, because you're in the children of the legends, we had Camacho Jr. on last night. He was such an amazing interview subject, and then to just learn that he had a lot that he was dealing with yesterday, as far as going to court and having to sit and see, the killers of your own father face to face. Did he call you, or did you reach out to him in this, time for their families?
Yeah, I once I've seen the verdict come down, I sent a message to him on LinkedIn to Junior, and just told him that I'm happy to see there was justice for your dad. Because all those years to go through that and know that nobody was held accountable. I sent him that, and then he sent me back. I appreciate you, brother. Thank you so much. Because, like I said, we're a family in this thing. Our fathers fought. Whatever happens, you got to be a soldier to be in that ring, right? First and foremost, I don't care what background you come from. If you step in the ring and you say, "All right, here, I'm gonna go heads up with somebody," like. That's all due respect, because most people sitting on the sideline would never know the experience of what it's like to go into the ring. So I just wanted to reach out to him and told him that that I'm supportive of what he did. I'm happy to see that he has some closure, but the family can have some closure. It won't bring his dad back, but it gives some type of closure to it. And so that's a brother, a brother in arms. So I appreciate it. Sending love to him and the family. So it's all good.
Absolutely. Right. I mean, prayers to his family right now. I know he was saying that his grandmother, she was relentless. She stayed, she wanted to get some justice for her son. So It's just, even if nothing comes out of it, but the fact that she gets some type of peace of mind in her heart, I think it's worth this process. So we totally support him and his family at this time.
Yeah.
Now we do got some comments for you. We got the Florida Boxing Hall of Famer, Danny Santiago.
What's up, Danny?
Yeah, he's here with us tonight. Danny
What
says
Danny say?
boxing was their life, religion, and true drone. Is that what it says? Yeah, true drone. So he's talking about your era, your father's era with the Four Kings. Like,
yeah.
Culture, a
and
lifestyle.
no, and it's a thankless business for the most part, because when you look at the average fighter who is top 20, it is tough to be a fighter first and foremost. And when you watch and see, the dedication that has to be, because you don't play boxing. I always hear that you sound right. You can't play boxing.
Right.
You have to be dedicated to go in there and give it your all, and know that you can't call timeout in the middle of a fight. Right? Somebody catch you with a shot, you're like, God, this is what it is. But you to be in that, I don't think people understand the dedication, the commitment. And a lot of times you look at boxing as a poor man's sport, because you fighting your way out of a space. And for you to have that kind of heart to be able to compete against somebody else and say gladiator mentality, it's mano a mano, it's me and you, here we go. You have to have a different mentality. And so the respect goes to any person that steps in the ring. For me, any person that steps in the ring, first and foremost, I mean, that's respect, because you put everything aside, all your ego aside, and you say, I'm gonna go and compete. So shout out to you, Danny. All that you've done, sir, and appreciate all of the true fighters that go out there and give it their best and get into the ring and willing to take whatever the consequences happen.
Yes, and he also gave us some pictures of when he was on a Contender with Sugar Ray, and we just wanted to show and share that with you. Let's see. He sent in this picture here, and
my man Pepe out there, Coach Pepe out there, Pepe Correa.
I looked at it and I said, "Dang, Danny, why you the only one that's looking mean on that picture? Everybody else is like just happy to be around your
He's
dad."
straight screw face on there, ain't he?
It's like
I ain't playing with y'all.
Right. That's what he's looking like. It's so funny. Oh my goodness.
Beautiful.
Okay, so let's see who else is up here. I know I saw my UK buddy that rocks with us every Thursday. Rob, calling from the UK. He says, yes, the era. Absolutely.
Okay.
And then Amber says, still handsome. God bless you, Ray.
See, you can give me a triple, Amber. I see what you're saying now.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah. My UK folks, I love the UK. Like before this pandemic, we would travel over there and do tours, like probably every 2 years in the UK, from Manchester to Birmingham to London. So I spent a lot of time over there. So I love my folks in the UK. Love that they are big time fight fans, like UK, Mexico, and Dubai. I mean, a big time boxing fans, old school boxing fans. So I love you. I appreciate you.
All right. So I feel like you've traveled a lot and you've been able to experience a lot of the world, through boxing. And I just want to know, like, what place did you go to that just seems like you felt like you were like at a second home?
Yeah. So, like I said, I've been blessed. That was my biggest education ever, to be a young man coming from Palmer Park, Maryland, that we didn't have anything, 2 teenage parents, and then all of a sudden getting thrust into the limelight and having so many experiences and getting to travel the world and see so many different people from different backgrounds. So as far as a diversity space, I was blessed with the most diverse background in life ever. But if you try to tie me down to what's my favorite place that I've traveled and the people, I love the UK, I love Mexico, love Latin America, Brazil, Argentina, but one of my favorite places is I guess it's kind of off the beaten path. It's not a super big boxing place, but New Zealand. I love New
Oh,
Zealand. I
okay.
love New Zealand. It was just like home to me. I don't know whether it's the Māori people, the Native American Native
Yeah,
uh,
like the.
phase. Yeah,
Mhm.
but it just kind of just like hit home to me when I got there. I felt like I was home. So if I would live anywhere else, it would probably be um, New Zealand.
Ray, do when you go to a lot of places, do people ever get you mixed up with your dad at all?
Well, they always say that he can't deny me. There's no DNA test needed. Like, so if it comes down to the will, and at the end of the day, there's not going to be a problem. So we do have a lot of similarities, and we look alike. I'm a little bit bigger than him because I decided to play football instead of continuing into the boxing phase. But yeah, we get that a lot. So I was a two-sport athlete in college. I played football and ran track and field because I didn't like getting hit in the nose. Even though I was pretty good at boxing, I'm still pretty good. I still train. I can step in there and throw these hands. But yeah, I mean
That was another.
Yeah, that was CJ. Shout out to CJ right here from St. Pete, Florida. And he says, Ray, have you ever thought about,
I was gonna ask Ray
in
that
that boxing ring?
So that I get that question a lot. So let me give you a reason why I didn't follow in his footsteps.
Okay, I'm ready.
So I was bigger, stronger, faster than my father. I started playing football. When I did box, in my amateur stuff, I was winning all the fights. So I was real cocky. I was a real cocky young dude. So about 16 years old, I'm getting swole up. I started lifting weights a little bit, started feeling myself. My father comes home and I'm like, I'm gonna challenge you. I'm like, dude, like you can't beat me. You too small. You old. And he's like, you sure you want to do this, son? I'm like, yeah, Slim. Like, what you talk about? He said, all right. We went downstairs into the gym. We put on the gloves. I'm like, hey, look. I said, my idea. I've seen all the stuff that he did with this wind up stuff. I'm like, I ain't gonna fall for that stuff, man. I'm just gonna rush you and push you in the corner. So we get in the ring. I got the gloves on. I rush him. I put him in the corner, and I'm swinging. And he just like he not even hitting back. He just moving. He just like ducking every punch I swing. I'm like, damn, it's gonna be a long night. And then he swings back one punch and hits me in my ribs or sternum or whatever the hell. I don't know what the hell happened.
No, he did.
And my first thought, I'm like, oh, that shit ain't hurt. My bad. I ain't mean to curse. I mean, sorry. I was like, it ain't hurt. but like, you ever had your brain like you get hit and then like 5 seconds later it catch up to you?
Yeah. Like
that's what happened. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what happened. Like he hit me and then all the air went out my body and then I took my gloves off. I said, I'm done. I ain't fighting no more. That was it. That was the end of my boxing career. I said,
wow. And was that exactly what he actually wanted? Like he didn't want you in the sport, or he did?
Yeah, I mean, he saw talent, but he didn't want to push it, because it was, I think he knew that it was a way out for him. That's what he looked at boxing as a way out for him. But I don't think he really wanted me to follow in there. But he was okay if I did. But he just wanted to show me that, like, look, I'm a world champion. I'm a 6-time. I'm a 6 weight class. Yeah, he like, yeah, you out of pocket, son. And I'm gonna just show you, even though I'm older. Like, yeah, this game is different. It's real. And so I got the point. And I put on my cleats.
We're talking to you and your dad on a commercial right now.
When he came on the screen while you were talking about him.
He was on this commercial.
Oh, what, for real? It was a Skechers commercial.
Yeah,
the Skechers.
Skechers one.
with his fast hot feet.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's crazy. Oh, his old butt's still making the bag right now.
Well, I had a question about that too because I was looking at one of the documentaries, and at first when he was in the Olympics, he wasn't thinking about turning pro. But then when he found out that his wife his lady was pregnant, he's like, wait a minute now, I got a mouth to feed now, so I changed my mind.
Yeah.
Did he ever talk to you about that particular, time in his life?
Yeah, well, I was already born. So I was born in 72. 73 and
Okay.
Olympia 76. So, but what happened was my grandfather was sick. He had spinal meningitis and tuberculosis, and he was in the hospital in a coma. And we was in Palmer Park. He ain't had no money to pay the bills. So
Okay.
he asked his manager. He's like, no, how do I make quick money? Because he wanted to go to get a degree and go to University of Maryland because Muhammad Ali told him, hey, always sign your own checks. Like don't go into it because he's seen so many people in boxing that end up with nothing. So his big thing is like, hey, all right, hey, I'm gonna go get a job and go to University of Maryland, and he had to figure something out. So the manager said, look, if you turn pro, you can pay these bills. So that's what he did. He turned pro and paid the bills, and the rest is history.
Okay, so the next comment is from Janny Santiago. It says, in that era, it wasn't just a dream. It was not only life, but a dedication and love like religion. I believe that. What do you think? I mean,
yeah, it was, because if you look at, we talk about the four kings, but then you had guys like Ayub Kalule, you had Wilfredo Benitez, you had so many fighters, Iran Barkley, you had so many fighters in that era that was cold-blooded. Michael Nunn. I mean, you had cold-blooded fighters in that era, and they all fought for bragging rights. They fought for, America don't get paid for what they do, but it was such a thought process. If I have the opportunity getting here with you, I'm gonna try to take your head off. they wanted to beat each other. It was like he said, it was a religion, and even when they all had money, they had fame, they could all retire. But it was a pride thing. It was a religion. It was like I'm going to be the best, and I don't know anything else but trying to be the best. I'm going to prove it to you that I'm the best, no matter where you are, what weight class, you can do it. If you think about that Fab Four, they span from lightweight
hold on a
all the way
second.
up to light heavyweight.
Oh, okay, now it's back. Your audio was muffled again.
Oh, I got some.
Okay, you got it now. It's fine now.
I got this Boost Mobile going on, I guess.
Stop yourself. Stop. You're not gonna get that Boost Mobile sponsorship now. Stop.
I know. There's always Cricket Wireless too. So whatever.
Rob says, "God bless the people's champions." Yeah, that's true. I guess Tiara. She says, "Hello, Boxing Playhouse and Ray. I thought I was gonna be Leonard.
Be a Leonard.
Be a Leonard. Oh my goodness. Okay.
Hold up, man.
Wow.
Is your brother single, Ray? Jarrell?
No, Jarrell, he got a couple kids and a woman.
Okay.
So, jeez.
Oh,
Hey, you know what? Hey, Jerry Jones from the Dallas Cowboys owner just got a lawsuit about somebody, a random kid out there. So I don't know, maybe there's some random winners out there.
hey, you never know. I mean, I see how we got some boxing girls that's like really into, boxing celebs and stuff. So I don't know.
All right, Tara, don't get nobody in trouble, Tara. I see you.
Well, now she says, I remember that 7-Up commercial.
Oh,
I'm so glad she brought that up because we do have a
hell no.
picture of that. Let's go ahead and see you as a kid.
First time I seen Ray.
Oh hell, I got that Jackson 5 afro on there for sure.
Oh my God, so cute. Absolutely adorable.
Wow.
Do you remember that day?
Oh, I remember that day. I remember it forever because I never wanted to do a commercial. I was a super shy kid, right? So I never wanted to be in front of the spotlight. So my father actually had to bribe me to be in that commercial. So here's the background story that I was like, no, I ain't gonna do it because the whole marketing piece was behind it to say, oh, here, this is a black family and the kid father's in the kid's life. So that mean it was like Cosby Show kind of thing. I mean, not like Bill Cosby right now, but it was like Cosby Show kind of back then, right? Like the hustle thing.
Gotcha.
Right? But he's like, all right, you do this commercial and I'm gonna buy you a 3-wheel motorcycle. And I was like,
Wow.
bet I'm gonna do it. So I was there.
Oh yeah, I would remember that moment too. Then
17 hours of drinking damn 7-Up, and then
wow,
I
you
didn't
must have had a
realize.
sugar crush like that was like no other after that.
Yeah, but I was tired of 7-Up after that. But then they was holding my checks, right? So I didn't know I had checks coming in. Then when I got old enough, they started giving me checks. I like, shoot, let me do some more 7-Up commercials. I called 7-Up like, y'all want to do a remix?
Right.
Like run that bag back again. There was some of the residuals was good.
Right.
And that's such a great idea, to be honest with you, for them to have like a throwback commercial with, you and Sugar Ray Leonard now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
now.
you know how they do the before and the like 20 years later type photos?
Yeah,
it had a video like that. That would just be amazing for a commercial.
I've been trying to tell him my son is a freshman wide receiver at Grambling State University. And so I'm like, here, you got generations of superstar athletes. So go ahead and run that.
Yeah,
run
so
that
they
bag, 7 Up.
three or 4 generations on the commercial.
Yep, y'all hooked it up. I'll make sure you get your commission.
I'm already. Listen, I'm looking for them myself already. It's rough out here for us.
Ray, I got a serious question I want to ask you.
Yeah.
You ain't got to answer it if you don't want to, but do you still rap?
Oh yeah. So
okay.
I had to show my kids I got skills. So I got all the time. They have these mumble rappers nowadays.
Oh,
so
man.
I got rap skills. I can just go freestyle off the dome and still hit it. So when they hit the beats, I always do it in the car. My daughter gets very angry at me because I just rap everywhere, anytime, like on cue, and I just hit it. So.
Well, my thing is with the entrepreneurial spirit that you guys have in your family now, growing up, and him and your dad having such a lucrative career, especially as an African American male. He was seen as the all-American, sports figure, and now it's hard pressed to find that type of love for an African American sports figure, in my opinion. Like it's a totally different, perspective that culture has now for its Black athletes. So, tell us a little bit about like how that entrepreneurial spirit, how you learned from it, and just what you're up to now.
Yeah, so I saw the struggle early on from my mother and father. When my mother was working at the gas station and working at Arthur Treacher's to help my father get to his dream. And for me, it became really important as an internal thing. So I speak a lot of times on motivation, but I say I can't motivate anybody. I can inspire you. Like your motivation has to be internal. And so my motivational drive was early on that I wanted to be my own man. I never wanted to have to depend upon anybody. I never wanted to have to go back and say, can you do this for me? And so single day I get up in my little field of me not being in control of my destiny. So when I look at me as a business person, I want to build an empire. I want to build something that's going to be here for forever, for my family, for my kids, for them to grow strong in. My father, he wanted to be great. He just wanted to be special, but he didn't have the same kind of thought process for in business wise as I do. And it's okay. Everybody, we all have our own path. But me, I work, and I'm scared every single day that I won't be able to control my destiny. So I was always an entrepreneur. I always wanted to control my own destiny. I didn't want to say here, no, because my father has so much that it's due to me. No, well, I'm going to create my own path, and whatever happens in that space is. So I've been an entrepreneur since I came out of college. I started a sports management company. I got a sports management degree, and Jerry Maguire came out that year when I got out of college, and I said, if Tom Cruise can do it, I can do it too. So I got into my space. I built my company. I built a sports management company, sold it when I was 26 years old, and I said, here, I'm a boss. And you didn't really see many role models out here, but you got black bosses out here, or
Mhm.
bosses of that was of a different background. So that gave me the confidence to say I can do it and repeat it. And so that became that entrepreneurial spirit, that vibe, and that drive, and that love, that energy has always driven me. So now I'm a part of a venture studio. I'm my own part on a venture studio called Nobody Studios, and we build companies. So our audacious goal is to build 100 companies in 5 years, and give entrepreneurs with ideas the opportunity to build that company and give them the infrastructure to do it, from money to knowledge to everything else. Because I think young people that are out here, or even older people that have a dream, they just need that opportunity. So that's what we're building there. I have a new company that I'm launching within the studio called Ovations, and it's a talent marketplace. So if you think about it, like Uber for talented people, basically. When Amazon started out, Amazon was just selling books. They were hustling books, right?
Right.
Right.
So I'm hustling talent. So if you want to be able to book LeBron James for 5 minutes, or book some up and coming talent, emerging talent, to be an expert in that space, we're allowing that to happen, allowing people to monetize themselves and grow. So that's kind of the space of what Ovations is doing.
Wow, that is an amazing thing to be doing for other people. Just trying to help and grow positivity and especially with minority businesses as well. I think it's such a worthy cause. And you're right, there weren't that many, you know, mentors or people you can look up to and say, "Hey, I want to do it that way." In the past generation, we just didn't
Right,
see that. I mean,
right,
now
and I
you see more of it, but you still are kind of I don't know. You see the black entrepreneur spirit, and you see as well just regular people of all ethnicities trying to make it with small businesses now, but there's very few resources for them, so that is an amazing thing that you're doing.
yeah. For I mean, for all of our diverse backgrounds, from black, Latino, like here we hustlers, and I was blessed with the opportunity to have a platform to be able to be an accelerator, and that's what I'm doing. So hey, I'm for the people, I'm for the culture. Let's make it happen. Let's go get this bag. Let's change the dynamic of what's happening.
Yeah, and you want to see other people succeed. That's the difference. I mean, that's
Exactly.
there's a lot of haters out here, man. Ray, you know it. I mean,
No,
so you're coming at it from the total different aspect of actually wanting to see others prosper. I mean, you don't see that every day. So I
yeah,
gotta honor you for that,
yeah.
100%.
Yeah, I mean, what I like driving the Bentley down the street, and my brother out here walking, like what I put into that Bentley can help a whole neighborhood. So like I'm not that dude. I don't need all the fancy fly stuff. I
Mhm.
like it. I do like it. I can't I ain't gonna front like I don't like it. I do like to fly first class or private. Yeah, I do like this. So I can't say I don't like it, but
Right.
I can also get that knowledge and get that hustle back and say, here, this is some game. What you do with the game is on you, but I'm gonna give you the game.
Yes. I mean, for me, it's like not. It's a great thing that you're not being a selfish person, but to also want others to succeed is something that it's a rare thing. Especially, I hate to say it, in the black culture.
Yeah, yeah. It's like they always talk about being crabs in the barrel, right? I'm gonna climb over you to get to where I want to be, but
Right.
yeah, how about if I get out the barrel and I pull you up? Like, what happens then?
Yeah, there's two of y'all up there fighting everybody.
Right, 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 right.
With
So
double the amount of people. So
yeah, yeah.
simple, but such a hard concept for some people.
Yeah. It's scary. It's scary, but
Well,
we
Dahlia
we
Duran
making
said, yes,
progress.
I remember that commercial. Dahlia Duran is another kid of a legend.
Yeah, no. So me and her brother, we did a commercial together. We did a 7 Up commercial together.
Yes, it says CJ is talking about it to her. And he says, what about the 7 Up commercial with his dad, Roberto Duran, and his son? He was that commercial shoot. How was that commercial shoot? Is what they're asking. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it was cool because I had somebody else that kind of knew what I was going through, It was always, I was so quiet as a young kid because I didn't think anybody else knew what I was going through. So when me and Roberto Jr. was on set, it was just like cool just to hang out. Like we just drank soda, ran around, ate candy. Like we was just two kids just playing in amongst these two legends that were fierce competitors. So yeah, it was really cool to be that. So I shout out to Roberto Jr.
Yes, and Dahlia Duran. She's our resident translator and interpreter for the Spanish-speaking, viewers. So shout out to her for doing that for us always.
Hey, Ray, Marvin Hagler, after him and your dad fought, I know he retired and he felt bitter for years. Did him and your dad, did they ever really, match up? I mean,
did they ever,
squash that up? I mean, because I know there was a lot of tension over for years, man. And Hagler, he never fought again, and he felt like he lost. I mean, he felt like he won that fight. How your dad felt about that, man?
Yeah, so it was two different phases. Marvin thought my father really took advantage of him and played him, because my father wasn't the biggest, fastest, strongest, but he was probably mentally, he was probably the best that ever did it, because he studied every single thing about each fighter that he fought against. And so with Marvin, he went over the top. Like he would send somebody to his training camp. He watched every single detail. Marvin didn't like to be beat to the ring in the middle in a fight. Like he liked to be in the middle of the ring first. So my father would do that. And every, if you want to go back and watch the fight, he did every single thing that pissed him off. So for a champion of Marvin's stature to say, okay, here you beat me on what he probably thinks is a technicality, because he out smarted him in that fight. He didn't want to give him a reason, because Marvin liked to fight out of anger. So he was always said nice things about Marvin. He really, the mental warfare leading up to that fight was incredible. So Marvin always thought that he was slighted, and my father got that personality and got all the acknowledgement because he was flashy. So you got the flashy guy against the guy who's the blue collar guy that's coming in. So every single thing, when we went in and we was negotiating the fight, my father was like, "Yeah, I want to fight 15 rounds." And Marv was like, "No, we're going 12 rounds." And then he was like, "No, I want to use 8-ounce gloves." Marv was like, "No, we use a 10-ounce gloves." So it was like the reverse psychology. So when the fight was over, I guess it all came to a head. Like seriously, you did that to me. all these things that you did to me. So it's hard to take that, that his last fight. And so it was they
now getting back
they
to
they became
question, did they ever squash the beef?
They squashed the beef. It was respect. So at the Hall of Fame, in Canton, Canastota. Canastota, yeah, the Hall of Fame in Canastota. They kind of squashed it. I mean, he's still salty. He was still salty at that time, but they kind of squashed it. It was respect. There's always been respect for him, but yeah. Marvin was one of the realest ever. Like he was straight up hardcore fighter. Yeah, you couldn't find a dude that was head was impervious to pain, that would come straight through and rumble every time. And he had to fight so long to get respect. I think that was his
that
the cat that he thought that was taking his shine ends up being the one that beats him.
Ray, your dad was on a podcast one day. A dude named Stacy Brown. I don't know if you know Stacy Brown, but I got to ask your dad a question, and he just bust out laughing. I told him when I was 12 years old, I begged my dad for $20 to see him and Hearns fight, and he just laughed, man. He thought that was so funny, man.
He said $12. I spent $125 on gas to see 12 fight ticket.
I always wanted to go to that Caesar's Palace parking lot and see a fight, man. I know it's not there no more, but I always, as a kid, I wanted to go there. You know, and I saw a closed circuit.
Oh, so you got the $20.
Yeah, Dad gave me the $20, but I watched back in the day, they had a closed circuit, man. You know, fuzzy screen, and you couldn't really see it that good.
You're funny.
that was the only fight. So I went to every single one of my father's fights. The only fight that I didn't go to was the first Roberto Duran fight in Montreal, right. And I watched it closed circuit at the Capitol Center. So I know exactly what you're talking about.
Right?
He lost. Everybody in DC was salty because he lost. It was beautiful.
Well, Dahlia is saying she remembers when her father fought Hagler. At the end of the night, we went to eat dinner and we were all at the lobby sitting next to each other at Caesar's Palace restaurant, and he was very friendly with us. So. Oh
yeah. I mean, they were all warriors. They all warriors. They had to respect each other though. So they respected each other. We all my father and Roberto are like great friends. Tommy, great friends, and him Hagler. They had their that was probably the toughest one, the rift. But I mean, we all, our families respect each other and love each other. So no shout out to it. I remember sitting in the Caesar's Palace after the Hagler fight, like walking through there, and it was so crazy that they the bodyguards put my father and I on top of their shoulders to walk through, and John Madden, rest in peace, John Madden, he was there, and he was like, "There's no way I thought that Sugar Ray could ever beat Marvin Hagler," and so he had so it was good to see John Madden, and he ain't seen no video games, but all good.
Wow, that's crazy that he said he didn't see it happening. I want to know.
No, I mean, but there was nobody thought he would win. Like nobody thought he could beat Hagler. It was you know.
I want to know how much that mental, like how how you got percentages, like 50% is, most people say 50% is mental, but how much do you think your dad would say is mental?
He'd probably say 80 to 90% was mental. Because preparation, like Danny said, their preparation was already religion. That was already built in. They all were going to prepare, like it was their last fight. So no, none of them would want to come in and tarnish their legacy not being 100%. So preparation was already inbred and built into them. But the mental process to get up and fight, to go work out and train when you have everything, to try to outsmart the person that you're going against. I mean, that is the toughest thing. I mean, you think about boxing in general, it's almost like unnatural to be able to do that.
Right.
So like you have to prepare yourself mentally, more than anything, to say, okay, here at all costs, I'm gonna go in here and give it everything I have and find out what does it take, what kind of chess moves do I need to beat this person that's in front of me.
Right, so, I got two questions for you. First question, in their prime, who would you say, your dad or Floyd Mayweather in his prime? And second question is, can you jump rope like your daddy?
So, okay, let's
that was a lot in one. That was a lot. Okay.
Let's tackle the jumping rope thing. No. No, I can actually skip rope really well. I mean, I'm really good at it, but I can't do what he does. Yeah. Even at this late age, so he still, he takes it personal. Now, if he want to wrestle me or fight now, I can beat him down right now. But
WrestleMania, huh? It's got to be that wrestling.
Yeah. And so I always ask this question to him. We talk about all the time about Floyd, and so because I have the utmost respect for Floyd as a fighter, as a tactician, and I think he gets enough credit as a student of the game and what he does to prepare and how he can switch styles to fight anybody. But when it comes to what that fight, I think it doesn't turn out well for Floyd. So when you talk about styles make fights. When my father fought Floyd's father, And Floyd's father was a phenomenal boxer, super skilled at defense and everything else. But there was a crack. There's something that you can do that to crack the vault. And you saw Shane Mosley do it. You saw Zab Judah do it. You saw Chop Corley do it to catch him. To find that window when Floyd kind of slips within his defense. And my father was more of an assassin. Like he would that if he caught Floyd with one of them shots that Shane or it wouldn't have been a recovery. So all respect to Floyd, but I think that would have been an amazing fight. But I think the volume of punches and the killer technician that my father was would have bested Floyd. So that's just in my opinion. So Floyd's my homeboy. He's another junior, so I got to give him respect. But yeah, you wouldn't have won that one, son.
Right.
Ray, do you think Tommy was the dad's toughest fight, or Marcus Geraldo? Who do you think was his toughest fight?
Oh yeah, man. Well, we talked about that because Marcus Geraldo had him seeing like triple. He saw 3 people. Like that dude was. Yeah, he said he stuck him and hit him, and it was like, good God. But I think Tommy, like we talked about the styles, because Tommy was so big and long and had a jab and was fast. I think he had to will himself to beat Tommy. Like I think with Roberto and Marvin, and he was able to box more. He could box. He could use his skill set, but he had to change his whole style up to fight Tommy, because Tommy was just a whole different machine, a different animal. So if you ask him like who was the person that put him closest to to death, like that's it. Like sometimes they say that's in the ring, like you feel like you about to to go. Yeah. So he would always give Tommy his credit, because Tommy would throw was just a monster, had power in both hands, was just long, and he knew to get Tommy, he had to take something to go get him. There was no free lunch going to get Tommy. And so even he talks about Roberto, he's like Roberto Duran being the one that actually taught him about mental warfare, and that Roberto Duran was such a tactical fighter. People just thought that he was Miles Pierre's hands of stone, but he was a tactical fighter, and he was very, very smart. So everybody had their skill set about what they did, but I think him box, he could box Marvin, he can box Roberto, day in, day out. But Tommy, he had to go get some. And so like it takes a different thought process to go say, hey, I'm gonna get punched in the face to get a punch. So I think that may have been his toughest one.
I mean, for me, for a long time, I really didn't do a lot of research when it came to Duran in particular. Only thing that I knew him for was the second fight with your dad, which really isn't a good, example of his entire strength of his career. You know what I'm saying? So I was so glad that I was able to research and see, the dynamics and how big your dad and him, the fight together was, with them. Because, you gotta realize, Duran is down at lightweight for 10 years.
Right.
He comes up the welterweight to face, the king of the division in my eyes, Sugar Ray. So but he did the same thing to my father that my father did to Hagler, because Duran would come in there and be like, kiss my butt, and curse me out. He gave me the finger. He gave my mama the finger. And so my father, like the first fight, he was like, man, I gotta go rumble with this dude. I gotta fight him, not knowing that's not, you can't do that with him. That's what he wants you to do. Yeah, that's his game.
So his thought process was like, I'm gonna fight him for 15 rounds. I'm gonna stand toe to toe. Like, no, you can't do that with this cat. Like this cat is a legend. He's tricky. He knows every single space in the game. So he sucked him in, and he lost the fight because he didn't win the mental warfare. So, right. but that was the turning point. If he didn't lose that fight, I don't think he could have been as great as he ended up being.
That's true. Sometimes a good loss like that just puts you in perspective, and then your game, you get this super focus with a lot of boxers that you might not have had you had won. So
right.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, shout out to Dahlia, shout out to Roberto, Irishel. I love Durant family.
Ray, when y'all was on when y'all took this picture in front on Ebony in front of that house, I wanted to be your brother back then, man. When y'all I wanted to live in that house with y'all.
Oh, that's so sweet.
When y'all was on the front of Ebony.
Oh man,
Have fun.
The big Game of Thrones house.
Yeah.
With that castle look. Yeah, yeah. When we moved out there. You know what, I didn't want to move at all. Because I was just so used to where I grew up and the people I grew up around, and it was just so tough for me early on to to be able to adjust. So I went from a neighborhood that everybody looked like me to neighborhood that nobody looked like me. And so I had to adjust and deal and be in the spotlight as I was. It's hard enough being a teenager, going seventh, eighth grade or whatever, and to have everybody looking at you or everybody knowing what's going on in your life, and people sitting out front of your gate at the house and people climbing over the gate, and
Oh boy.
women coming in saying that she my mama. It was like it was the craziest stuff in the world. I mean, we went. I mean, I went through the craziest stuff in the world. I can't. If they made a movie about this, nobody would even believe it.
Wow.
Well, I do have to admit that, and no shade or nothing, no disrespect, but I do have to admit that, your dad is actually one of the best, handsomest, if that's a word. that boxers that I've seen, in all the different generations. I think he's one that had more appeal to the masses. And matter of fact, I think that's why he was more mainstream than a lot, because he did have those extra good looks too. Yeah, exactly.
It was all planned out. So I don't know if you know the background of how the whole Leonard legacy was being built, but instead of signing with Don King or signing with promoter, my father got 30 people to invest $1,000 to start his career and incorporate it as Sugar Ray Leonard Inc. And so everything that we did was thought about and strategized as a business about how we want to look, how we speak, how we talk, and so it was important for him to be able to be articulate, to look a certain way, to be commercially friendly. So he could change the game in that way, to own himself. When Muhammad Ali told him to cash your own checks, to write your own checks, sign all your checks, that was a thought process. And for me, that was the inspiration of me being an entrepreneur and a businessman. Is that once you open the door and unlock to show people you can do this, it's not foreign to you, then ain't no going back. You can't tell me you're gonna pay me this, because I know my worth. I know what I need. I'm gonna get paid. So
right.
He opened the door and I can't go back. It's tough to see that. So once that happened, it was specific and targeted about what we would do as a family, how we look, how we spoke, everything was targeted. So
marketing geniuses is what you should be categorized to. And
we got lucky. We got lucky too. We got lucky too.
For other businesses.
Yeah, we got lucky too. But there was the thought process behind it of this is what we want to be. Like why is Bruce Jenner on a Wheeze box and not my father, not us?
Right. Why not? Yes.
Yeah, why not us?
Why not? And I think that's missing now. We don't never have boxers on Wheeze boxes anymore. What happened? I think that was a great marketing tool that they don't even use today.
Yeah. I think that there should be more boxers in mainstream in commercial business. There's a few that do it pretty well, but even through all this time, you still don't see it. You would think that Floyd Mayweather that adjusted himself from being Pretty Boy Floyd to saying, okay, I can't make a living this way, nobody's gonna respect me this way, to come in the bad guy from Money Mayweather. That's marketing genius. He turned it around, because if he stayed Pretty Boy Floyd, he would have been a replica of Sugar Ray Leonard rather than him trying to be his own person. When he became Money Mayweather, it was a whole different vibe.
Right. Yeah. Sometimes, I mean, that's a formula that a lot of black boxers use now is like, the bad guy, because you're going to have just as many people that like you that want to watch you than as people that want to watch you because they want to see you lose,
What y'all think? What you think about Charlo and Crawford though? Like Charlo out here, he out here spitting a whole bunch of venom out to Terrence Crawford though.
I like it. I like it, right?
I like the smoke. Yeah, I like the smoke. Like, hey, let's get it.
I'm gonna be honest. Like, I like when these boxers get into it with each other and have a little, antagonistic, vibe between them. I like that. I mean, because it hypes up a possible fight and it puts it in our minds that, like, well, damn, could he really knock him out if they was in the ring?
Yeah, how you feel about him fighting Crawford, fighting Charlo Ray? You think he can hang in there with Charlo?
Man, I ain't putting nothing past Bud. I mean, Bud is a bad man. So like, hey, I know he's Charlo. He threw it out there, but he's like, well, why don't you go ahead and fight Errol Spence first? Because I know the Charlo brothers. They want to wreck all the time. But
right
when he put out there, he said, go ahead and fight Spence first. I'm like, all right, maybe you don't want to smoke as much as you saying it is. Maybe you just supposed to whoop tickets. You want to see what happened with him and Errol first. So, hey, I love the action, man. Like you got the welterweight division, middleweight division. You got fighters out here right now. I mean, I'm loving the energy that's coming back to the game. So,
yeah, I mean, do you think that a Charlo versus Bud Crawford is still actually a possibility? Do you think this is a fight that could be made with all the, boxing politics that's involved? I mean, do you see that as a real possibility?
Yeah, I mean, that is a thing. The politics of the promoters and who controls it. The fighters have less and less, pull over what they're doing. So, I'd love to see it. I'd love to them to say, okay, here we can reach an agreement from the zone or PBC or whoever. And
Right.
say, hey, let's just fight. Let the best fight the best. Let's all make this bag, and you can run it back 2 or 3 times and get even more. So, like what's the problem?
I mean, I'm glad to hear your perspective on that, because a lot of times we're wondering that as boxing fans, it's like, why we just can't see the best fighting the best in this division or division.
The one thing I appreciate when with Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder, like, I know Deontay had to go the legal route to get his shot again, but he wanted to smoke. Like they wanted to fight.
Yeah.
So they got there and fought, and the outcome was the outcome. But hey, let the guys fight. Let's bring the show to it, because that's what it's about. It's about creating memories. It's about entertainment. It's about putting the best fighters against the best fighters, no matter what it is, and the money will take care of itself.
Hey Ray, what do you think about all these belts? Because I miss the days when it was just like when your dad was just the WBA and the WBC. Now it's just too many belts.
He's just shaking his head already.
I can't even call it. I mean, that is the frustration for me. And right. I'm trying to work on some things. I'm actually working with Tommy Jr. and Marvin Jr. and Arishel Duran, which we're trying to figure out how can we give the game back to the fighters, and not be so caught up in everybody's a champion. That's like everybody getting a damn ribbon. I like it being 1 or 2 belts, maybe 3 at the most, and then the unification. But everybody can't get a ribbon, man. Like you can protect this fighter for years, and then they come out and say I'm pound for pound the best because I have belts in all these different spaces. But I mean, shoot, I can give my son a belt and say he the greatest, and he ain't fought nobody. So like if you ain't beat the top people, it don't make no sense to me. So maybe I'm old school, and maybe it's better for revenue wise to say, here we got champion fighting champion. You can build it up for the pay-per-view. But I mean, I don't want to see Jake Paul fight nobody else and beat nobody else up.
Oh, you're not for the YouTubers then, you're saying?
I love the energy bringing back any type of notoriety to the game, but this man out here talking about like he can beat Canelo. I'm like, I appreciate your confidence, but Dude,
Let's start with you actually fighting a real boxer, right?
Yeah, you beat a basketball player, MMA wrestler, and like somebody that's a skateboarder or something. They got come on, Slim. Like yeah.
Ray, you surprised that Don King and Bob Arum still promoting?
No.
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 Think about all the money they made. Who would want to stop making that kind of money?
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. That would be like, will you be surprised if El Chapo is still selling drugs? Like, that's what they do.
That's what they do.
That's what they do. So,
That's funny.
and they know the game way different than I mean, they got some manpower and some old school tricks that these young cats ain't ready for. So they willing to go there if you don't want to go there. So,
right.
Not to give anything away because I've been in this game for a long time, but the game started a certain way and it's still controlled by.
Trying to hold on to that certain way.
Yeah. So
now tell me, do you think or see yourself doing the boxing sports management?
I'd love to give game to the fighters because I think I'm an advocate for the sport, and I want to see the fighters have a union, to see the fighters have something after they're done fighting to give the game back to them. I'm a partner in a company called Simwin Sports that deals with like video games and metaverse and all those type of things that I'm trying to bring more fighters in to be able to control their legacies. With the NFTs and the cryptocurrency, all that kind of stuff. So it's different. It's probably it's going to take some time to get into it, but that's the space I see it going. And so for me, I'm an advocate of making sure that fighters they put your life on the line, that you have something to go back to, that your family, I mean, at least it's some kind of insurance. Like so, take you afterwards. And so I see so many of these cats, and I want to do something. I want to do something, and I think that's going to be part of my legacy. Is I wasn't a boxer per se, but I'm going to be in the fight with the fighters.
That's pretty amazing. I love that idea as well. Just securing up some of this intellectual property sounds wonderful. Okay, let's see what CJ's talking about tonight. He says, are there any 4 fighters today? Okay, you get 4 that you think could, get to the level of the 4 kings.
Or are those days over?
Or is it done? Is it never happening again?
Let me think. For that, I think that was like once in a lifetime thing that you have these 4 Hall of Fame champions that were all in similar weight divisions or would go up to their whatever weight divisions to fight each other, and had that that brand draw. Will it happen again? I would never say never, but I think there are fighters out there that are transformational, that can do something to keep igniting the sport. And once my father was gone and Mike Tyson was gone, they thought it would never be somebody else. And then Floyd Mayweather came into this thing. Oscar De La Hoya did this thing. Right now, I love what Tyson Fury does. I love the ambassadors that are there. Canelo is doing his thing. There's fighters out there. I mean, that welterweight division right now, there's a lot of smoke out there.
Yeah.
So I think they just need to fight each other. They need to fight each other, and they're not worried about trying to have that 50-0 and protect your record. It's okay if you take an L to somebody that's a dog, and you go back and fight him again, right? So it's okay. Stop trying to protect it and say, here, okay, I was just undefeated, so I'm great. No, that don't make you great. It makes you great when you fought other great fighters.
Right.
And you can build. Yeah, you fought your position. You might not win, but then you come back and you have another opportunity. So I think there's an opportunity there, and I just hope that the new era of promotion doesn't diminish the opportunity to have something like the 4 Kings era back again.
I want you to answer that question too, Emelio. What do you think?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of good talent in that welterweight division. It's deep, like Ray say. What like you said, also they got to fight each other. You know, that's what made them great. Those guys fought each other, and when all this online beef, you know, those guys fought, and I think it's some talent out there. But I don't know, something about that Four King era, man. That was like a time and place. You know, those guys there, man. That was my era, my favorite era in boxing. You know that.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
That was definitely lightning in the bottle.
But that's going to be a hard act to follow. Four Kings.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and say no. I mean, you guys danced around the subject a little bit, but for me, it's an absolutely hell to the no. It's not happening. You're not going to get 4 individuals in this sport to fight each other and switch it up and fight the next one. And then they weren't that far apart when they were fighting. Like, we're not waiting until we get Pacquiao versus, you know, Mayweather towards the end of the career. Like, no. We wanted to make this happen now. You know what I'm saying? So I don't see it happening anymore. Let's stop the shenanigans, okay? Just let's speak the truth.
All right. Well, tell them how you really feel about it.
Yeah. Let's speak the truth here.
Hey, Ray, Benitez almost made that 4.
Well, he would have made the 5 kings.
Well, for Benitez.
Oh yeah. For me,
all but one, right?
He didn't fight Hagler. He fought Durant.
Yeah.
He fought Leonard. He fought Tommy too.
Yeah, I said all but one.
Yeah, all but Marvin.
Yeah. He was a legend, man. And so I love Wilfredo. You know, shout out to him and his family, man. It was special, you know, because he was such a nice guy and a champion at 17 years old. You know, I hate that he doesn't get the respect that he should get, you know, for what he accomplished and what he did. Man. If you literally watch that fight, I mean, they were like a mirror images of each other, him and my father, and you know, it could have went either way. It could have went either way. Right, and you know, his place in history will always be cemented as one of the greats of all time. So, you know, that Four Kings was legendary group, but like you cannot take anything away from Alfredo Benitez. Rest in peace to the king.
Well, is there 4 fighters that you have out here that you would pinpoint as, you know, that just that talented at least? Since we know they're not actually going to fight each other, I mean, is there 4 that you see that you're like, now he's really talented and I see him going far, like, you know?
There's amazing talent. There's amazing talent, but like I hate the kids that are like I'm already great. You know, they
you say I'm already great.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm already great.
Yeah. I mean, I gotta, you know, Javonta, you know, Davis, my Maryland homeboy. I gotta always give him love. Tank is a beast, and he can be really great. But
so we're gonna go with Javonte Tank Davis.
I like Shakir. I like Shakir Stevens.
Sure.
Yeah, I love him. Bud Crawford, you know, is a beast. Sheesh.
That's 3. You only got 1 more.
You like Boots? Right? You like Boots Ennis?
Yeah, I like Boots. He's a dog, man. I love him. I like. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of young dogs out there, and that, you know.
I like Xander Zayas. I think he's an upcoming star too.
Yeah. But you got these cats, you know, Benefita. I mean, you got a lot of fighters that can rumble. But do they
he's amazing, but
he said Cambosis. Cambosis is dog. I mean, you got so many cats out here right now that can go, but are they dedicated enough? Are they going to think because I won one fight or I got a belt that it's all over with? and not just say here, it's not just about the belt. It's about cementing myself as the best in this division ever.
Well, see, they came close to your list. I mean, he has Tank on it, Garcia, Haney, and he's like, and one more. I don't know.
I didn't see that. Okay.
Yeah, and Haney.
Yeah, Haney.
Yep. Okay, Rob.
Oh yeah, well he got Garcia, Tank, Garcia, Haney, and I said Shakir Stevenson, and then and Bud.
Yeah. And then Ennis. Dennis is
And I still love Errol Spence. You know, I love Spence, love Haney. I mean, this talent. There's a lot of talent out there.
Talent. There is definitely talent.
There's a lot of talent out there.
Yeah.
Ray, what was the last live fight you went to?
The last live fight, I went to a top ranked fight in San Diego. No. Actually, the last live fight I went to was Fury and Wilder.
In Vegas or the one in Staples Center?
In Vegas.
Vegas. Okay, so the number 3.
Yeah, number 3. That was
like, I mean, that's something to say you were a part of live, because that was an epic fight. Like,
that was a hell of a fight. Of a fight. Yeah.
Ray, what about AJ and Wilder if they fought? What do you think might happen?
Whew. Man, I okay. So
he's like, how can I be politically correct?
I know. I'm not gonna be politically correct. I'm just really collecting my thoughts, because I really had to think about this one, because I think, Wilder, for me, I mean, I love Deontay, but I think he's a one-trick pony. If he can't catch you with that shot, then he ain't got nothing else to pull out his bag. But
right.
AJ got a. I don't think his chin is that strong like Fury's chin is strong.
There you go.
He's one of the only people. I mean, Tyson Fury, the only one people to stand up to that nonsense when you get hit with them hammers.
You got to be about 50 pounds over. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, to take that. So I mean, AJ makes mistakes. I mean, but I like him as a technical boxer, but he still has that European style where he stands straight up, keep his chin up.
Yeah.
And sometimes in history, like there's many times you train to try to change your style, you always end up going back to what you do, right? So I think what happens is in that fight is that AJ is able to box him and keep control of Deontay, but then Deontay can land that one shot, and it's just night.
Yeah.
So
I agree.
He'll be disciplined enough to win that fight, and I don't think Deontay can. If AJ is disciplined enough that he can't do anything else besides keep swinging. So that's my answer. I'm sticking to it. And
okay, so
that's not one I bet on. I'm not betting on that fight. I'm not betting on that fight.
I'm about to analyze this. He says that AJ has a chin issue and he's prime picking for Wilder to actually land the shot. That's what I got out of that. What you think?
Yep, exactly. So I think AJ can win 11 rounds and get knocked out at 12.
Right.
Oh my goodness.
So I'm not betting on that joint, because I'd be sick to my stomach till the fight ends.
Yeah, I mean, we know he's not a technical fighter to the point like King Kong, like how he was with the Cuban style. And we seen what happened when Wilder was, when they were opposition twice. It was the same outcome. And I know AJ is not on that level as far as being a technician in the ring. So
yeah, I got flashbacks of Mildred Tiller and Chavez.
Oh man.
You done went back there now.
Yeah. He gets knocked out. AJ gets knocked out with 10 seconds left, and I think I'm about to count my money.
Okay, you gotta do that bet for sure.
That's kind of like Mike Weaver and John Tate too, right?
Right. Big John.
Yeah, remember that?
Big John, yeah. Mike Weaver did Jerry Curl.
Did you have a Jerry Curl?
No, I got natural waves.
I'm talking about back in the day.
He said good. No, when you saw that commercial, I had them BDBs. I just had to wear wave cap to brush it out, I guess.
Well, I got the good hair, but hey, how about this? How about I still had a Jerry Curl, because that was the style back then. You had the salt and pepper look that you had to go with.
Yeah, well, I got the salt and pepper coming in right now. That's why I keep my hair short, because I got all this. If I let it go, all this gravy out here.
Oh, that's all them long hours you putting in. Trying to help other people.
Yeah, four kids, and then almost 50 years old. That's yeah. That'll do it.
Man, one of your youngest boys looked just like you, Ray, when you were little, man. One of your younger sons.
Yeah,
I don't know which one, man, but you got one look just like you when you were little.
He knows
yeah.
this one.
That's my mini me. He's a star running back. He's in 9th grade. He's gonna be playing varsity on one of the biggest teams in California. So he'll be. He's a bad boy. He's a bad boy.
So how old is he now then?
He's 15. 15, but he like Tarzan. He got this long hair. He got hair like you. He got hair like you. They're all down his back, and then but he looks like me. Yeah. That's it.
That's
but
just this week.
My other son is a freshman. Yeah, my other son is a freshman receiver at Grambling State University. He's a bad man too. So my youngest daughter is a volleyball star. So and then my oldest daughter is an academician. She graduated on an academic scholarship from Pepperdine University, and she's a marketing executive in New York. So I've been blessed, man. You
really have.
The kids are doing great. They're making me look good.
You almost done. And you're almost done too. Like you know.
Oh yeah, I'm about to kick them out the house. Like they almost done. We got 4 years left.
Nester.
4 years left, and they out. Ain't no coming back.
You're gonna say, "Don't come back." Here's your book. You about to be an empty nester around here. Wow.
Oh, don't say that.
Don't start all over again now. Don't do it.
Hell no. That's not happening. I love the kids, but yeah. I'll be a grandpa, so I can give them back to the kid, to the family.
Right.
Hey Ray, I got another 2-part question real quick, man. How did your dad like Usher playing him, and how did he like Tommy Davidson impersonating him?
So Tommy Davidson's from Maryland too. It's like it's funny because all of us are from like that same little area that we grew up in, from Tommy Davidson to Joe Clare, Johnny Gill. I mean, all of us are from the same area. Martin Lawrence, all of us from the same area. So Tommy was all good. Yeah, Tommy Davidson. That was just super funny. And for Usher, he felt some type of way about Usher because he's older and Usher's the young little man coming up, and so he actually helped Usher. He helped Usher to play him in that movie. So
yeah, I think that's what made it better. That's what made that character better, is that insight he was able to give them.
Yeah, so I mean there was a little something there. I mean, love Usher. Me and Usher dated the same woman. So
what? Say that again. Wait a minute. Hold on. Let me take this nice hair comment down for a minute. Wait, what is you talking about? Y'all shared the same lady?
Yeah, back in the day. I mean, it was 2 different times, but it wasn't the same time. But she was a popular singer.
Juicier and juicier. I mean,
she was a popular singer, and so.
There you go.
So y'all put the pieces together.
I got to know.
Y'all put the pieces together.
Did anybody have a relationship with him?
Baby.
In the book. It's in the book.
Huh, he said baby.
It's in the book.
It's in the book. It's in the book. It's in the book. Yeah.
Go ahead. Tell us so we can get this book, because I'm interested now all of a sudden.
She was in a 3-girl group.
Okay. Dang, you know that. Don't say that's the music guy right there. He might know.
You got SWV.
And he said baby. So that might be the lyrics she sung.
TLC. Oh, Chili. Chili.
I didn't say nothing.
You know what? No, she was a very beautiful, and still is a very beautiful woman. So.
Oh, look at CJ. CJ, he causing problems already.
Wait. He said CJ causing problems. What did CJ to say? Oh, he said TLC too. We hadn't even got to that comment. Okay, CJ. Well, Amber, she was.
I've never said anything about that before, so y'all got it first.
But we appreciate it. I mean, I still need some more details.
Thank you, Amber.
Let's see. She said, "Nice hair, Ray." Thanks, Amber. Now Sherman Henson is a popular coach. He's coached out of he fought. He coached Paul Banky out in the California area, and now he's trained people like Antonio Tarver Jr. Here in the Tampa Bay area.
He lives in the DC area.
And he lives and was born and raised in Washington D.C. So Henson says the answer to the question is no. There is not for grinders of there is not for grinders of this era that is anywhere near as good as those four. Well, there you go.
I can't argue with the man.
So until champions versus champions decide to fight one another, they will never be on that level of the four.
I can't argue with him.
I mean, I understand what he's saying, but like in a lot of these situations, it's not even the fighters. They want to fight each other in a lot of cases. But I have to give my hat. I don't want people saying like somebody's scared or somebody's dodging this fighter anymore, because after seeing these Ukrainian boxers and how they done stood up and willing to die for their country, it's like they are not scared of you as a boxer. Like there is no boxer that they could possibly be scared of. So I'm kind of like opposed to people saying people are dodging, another boxer now.
Yeah, I mean, well, you see some of these, you look at the champions right now, especially in the heavyweight division. I think it's a throwback for some of the overseas fighters that have that mentality that they willing to die for it. So it's a different mentality sometimes, but yeah, I can't argue with Sherman. Like I appreciate that. I mean, Antonio Tarver is one of my homeboys. He's a bad man. So that area with him and Roy Jones and Sugar Shane Mosley used to be one of my clients back in the day. So there are fighters to be appreciated from every era. So I don't talk down about anybody that's willing to get in the ring and fight for what's theirs. So
wow, I mean, you got a wealth of knowledge. I mean, just talking about some of the things you just spoke on, with Sugar, Shane Mosley, working with him in that era. Who are some other names that you worked with?
Oh, I mean, it's a ton of people. So I've in the boxing space, with Holy. I mean, I've done stuff with a lot of different. It's consulting with a lot of these fighters because I want them all to win. So with Tyson, I want them all to win. So I do whatever I can to put them in the right position. So I've been around, been in the game, and had some success in different areas. So whatever knowledge and things I can put together, I always do it. So
right. The question that super welterweights.
I'll say it wasn't the Supremes.
No. Talking about you and Usher.
I cause problems out there.
Rob is crazy. We're gonna get ready to let you go soon. We know it's starting to get late. Yeah, but let's answer this last question here. It says, "Blessings, my people. Sugar, do you remember any comments from your father about Duran? Any secret comments that you care to share with us on this rivalry?"
No. The one thing that he always talked about is like that Duran hit so damn hard. It's like for it, and he was a lightweight. I mean, his weight, like he said, he felt he had rocks in his gloves when he hit. And then the fact that he was just so relentless in and out the ring. Like he said Duran, like he was actually like scared of Roberto Duran, like early on, like because he was just so much of a veteran when my father fought him the first time, like that he had never seen anybody like that carried himself a certain way, that said whatever out of his mouth that was just so tenacious and just a bull in the ring. He would take his gloves and scratch his ear, like he just punked him. Like that's what he really he was punking me. Like he was just the inside of his gloves to scratch his ear. It's like he would hit him with elbow. It's like he taught him brutal warfare. And my father thought he was a pretty dude, but he was like, man,
Yeah,
he's like, but he wanted to prove in that fight that he was tough. So because everybody thought he was just a boxer that he couldn't rumble. So he wanted to prove that he could rumble in that fight. Well, he said, man, that was the wrong strategy. He said, Duran taught him a lesson that night. He said he taught him a lesson that night. And so he said, anytime if I fought Duran again, he's like, I was just gonna box him and move, and I ain't gonna mess with that dude like that. So
I hear you. We did a special for Roberto Duran on one of his birthdays about 2 years ago, and some of his family was on. But basically, it was Dahlia and some of her cousins. And they all were saying that even the grandma had like a heavy hand, like when she would pop them, like they were like you don't want to get hit by grandma, So it was something that run in their family to where they
you think about. I mean, he was a lightweight, and he went toe to toe with Marvin Hagler Marvin Hagler was a middleweight, and Duran was long in the tooth. He was old, man. By the time he fought Hagler, and he went toe to toe with him.
Super middleweight and fought and won a championship.
Right.
Broccoli.
Yeah, he came before I read. I mean, like, can you see any lightweight come up now and fight like a champion, like a real dog? No, that's not happening no more.
No, I can't think of not one boxer that could make it that far. Not to super middleweight. No way. Like that's
only
like
5'7".
damn.
Durant was only like 5'7".
Right. But he was a dog. Like this is a G, straight G. Like all of them, they were straight G's. They went up from lightweight to light heavyweight. Oh, and they won championships in every single space. Who won it? Who wanted to smoke?
Like, okay, we can do that. We can do that way. Sure. Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna go. Okay, I'll fight you. And it wasn't like they was fighting just a title holder. He's like, all right, this cat had been champion for 2 years, 3 years, like with title defenses. Shoot, man.
Wow. Okay. So Sherman says, I remember watching your dad as an amateur. Dang, Sherman, you went way back. That had to be in the DC area, right, Sherman?
Yeah. Huge. Okay.
Oh, okay. Super Welter says he dominated the second fight, though. He's saying that your dad got his revenge back. He dominated that one.
Right.
And then Rob says Duran is definitely the most ferocious and relentless boxer out there.
Ray, I like the combination that your dad did on Andy Price.
Oh, not the Hulk. That was trouble. And because Andy the Hawk Price was Marvin Gaye's fighter that he was representing. And yeah, so he
See, he's a wealth of information. I love that. Like, you put him on the ropes real well, huh?
There was two knockouts that I saw from my father that I didn't know that the cat was ever gonna get up again. That was Andy the Hawk Price and then Davey Boy Green.
I was gonna say Danny Green.
Davey Boy Green. So Davey Boy Green, he came out in the beginning of the fight and said something to my father that he didn't like. So that put him on roller skates early. Because he was, I don't think he was planning on putting that type of combination to his chin, but when he said something to him, he's like, all right, I'm gonna go ahead and show you. Like, I'm from Palmer Park and you are from the UK. Right. So this was about to happen.
Different levels, right? You let them know.
Right. Did Larry Holmes get enough credit?
No, not at all. Larry Holmes is one of the greatest, the Eastern Assassin, one of the greatest to ever do it. So his jab, his skill set was unseen. It was sort of him, Riddick Bowe, Lennox Lewis. I mean, the cats of those guys skill to put a jab out, follow up with a combination, straight 1-2 down the pipe. Like you don't like those cats was different. So shout out to Larry Holmes. Shout out to my man Riddick Bowe. I always give all my Maryland fighters some love.
Absolutely.
Sean Bay Mitchell. You got Chop Corley. We had some dudes out there. Yeah, we had some dudes out of Maryland.
A few times. He's a really cool person.
That's my man.
And,
Yeah,
and very entrepreneurial spirit too.
yeah. He got that hustle.
Yeah, he really do.
You
Who
know,
else did we meet in DC?
Keith Holmes.
Yes.
Keith Holmes.
Uh-huh.
Keith Holmes. Yeah. Them my dudes, man. And yeah.
Now they got Jaleel Hackett
my,
coming out of that area. That's a new signing with Mayweather Promotions.
Yeah. Javante, you got the Hinton brothers. I mean, it was a lot of fighters came out of there. Out of
Peterson brothers.
Yeah, the Petersons.
Yeah. Lamont
Russells.
Yeah. We fight out there.
Mark Too Sharp Johnson.
Too Sharp. Yeah, you can't forget Too Sharp.
Even Winky even from DC.
Yeah, Winky, right? Yeah, so like
that's a great boxing hub, man. That's like in the genes. I love it.
Yeah, you can name them off there.
We said William Joppy, Ray.
Joppy, you got damn.
Hey, boxing encyclopedia right here.
Yeah, I can't forget Joppy.
I'm loving the knowledge tonight. You guys are really
Oh yeah. We've been in this game, so.
Okay, well, we're not gonna keep holding you. Let's see. Our game. They are still asking you questions, so you are a hit.
Aaron Pryor. Okay, all right. This the last one. I'm gonna address this Aaron Pryor thing real quick. So they all come back and say, "Here, my father was duck Aaron Pryor."
Okay.
Come on, man. Like he fought Duran, Hearns, Hagler. Like seriously, he gonna duck Aaron Pryor. Aaron Pryor's a bad man, but like, he was lighter than him. They sparred, and I was at sparring sessions. No, one sparring session, Aaron Pryor did pretty good, but then every other session after that, it was not the same. So, and you could understand how people fight in sparring sessions compared to actual real fight. So, I no disrespect to Aaron Pryor, but no.
That's what I'm getting to when I'm saying like stop saying these, boxing stuff.
That's blasphemy, man. So don't even do it. Don't even do it.
It's like it's no.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I respect that.
Yeah. So I'm gonna fight Hagler and Hearns and Duran, but I'm gonna duck Aaron Pryor. Come on, man.
Yeah, like what sense this makes?
Yeah, no.
Okay.
That's it. I'm gonna leave it on that. I'm gonna leave it on that.
Oh, okay. Well, you can tell us some more if it's in there.
No. I'm gonna leave it. I'm gonna leave it on that. I gotta go to another meeting. I had a beautiful time, but I gotta go rock and roll.
You don't want to elaborate on that, Aaron Price.
Yeah. No, that's for number 2. We'll do it again.
All right. So, Rob, thanks, Rob, for joining us like 8 a.m. in the morning in the UK. Thanks so much, man. And you're the last comment we're gonna read for tonight. He says, I got Sugar Ray Robinson's autograph the other week. Getting a nice collection together here. All right. See?
All right,
Put this money together, I like it.
I see. Okay.
Rob, send us a picture of your collection as well, though. We want to see
it.
That's
a classic. So
Ray, you're gonna have to come back one night and bring Pops with you.
Yeah, no doubt. We'll do it. So let me know, man. I had a great time. I appreciate y'all.
Thanks. Hey, we had a great time too. Now, please tell everybody where they can find you and what how they can be a part of what you have created.
Yeah. So everything is easy. Everything is branded at Ray Leonard Jr. So that's on all social media platforms. So my website is rayleonardjr.com. So you'll find everything there. So I appreciate y'all. Appreciate the support. And we'll see you. We're building some great things, great businesses. Check out Ovations with a Z, OAVAZTIONZ. Ovations with a Z. I don't know. I spelled my own company name, but Ovation with a Z. That's gonna be the next big thing. So I'm hopefully one day I'm punching Amazon in their face.
Absolutely, I can see it, and we might then be able to cut that down to Ovay.
Yeah, Ray, whatever.
Ray, yeah.
Yeah, let's do it.
I love
it. I appreciate y'all. Thank you so much.
All right, thanks so much. Right. We appreciate you tonight.
All right, bye.
Bye. All right, guys. So you heard it here. Sugar Ray was a wonderful guest. He said he'll come back so we can ask him some questions at a later date. And we want to thank everyone that's been supporting our show tonight. You can find everything that we do at Boxing Playhouse. Please make sure that you sign up for YouTube. We are growing our YouTube channel and really focusing in on that. So please make sure you go over and sign up for that subscription. Also, you can go to our website at www.boxingplayhouse.com to sign up for my newsletter, where you see our articles in the latest and boxing news. That's what we all about. So peace out for the night, guys. We love you so much. And we will see you next Wednesday for the Latin America version of the show featuring Danny Santiago.
Welcome to the house, the one they talking about. Word of mouth, the Boxing Playhouse, without a doubt. All the latest and greatest boxing news, that's what it's all about.